Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Angela Sharina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. And today we are talking about a very important subject, something I've decided to talk about because of a message that I got on Instagram this morning. And the message actually was about ketogenic diet. And a person who asked me a question, who sent me this message, they got in touch because they read my blog, Getting to 10% body fat with ketogenic diet. And the person shared that they are struggling with belly fat. And I've decided to make belly fat the subject of our podcast because belly fat is not about it's not just about how you look and how great your abs look or how good you feel about yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. It's not about that at all. I mean, it's a little bit about that because we all love to look good and feel good about our looks, but it's also about health. It's actually, there is a correlation that is official between your waist size and the amount of healthy years of life you have. Especially heart disease is highly correlated with the size of your waist. And so no matter what diet you're on, if you have belly fat, a lot of people might be overall skinny and lightweight, but then they have this fat around their waist and then around their internal organs. That's what it really means. But also a lot of people who are overweight, for example, but do not have specifically a lot of fat around their internal organs or a lot of visceral fat, and they don't have a bigger belly fat issue. Those people are actually healthier than people who just have a lot of belly fat or fat around your internal organs. The thing is, guys, this issue is coming up more and more with the clients I work with. And that's actually the first reason why a lot of times they would come to me, because everything kind of okay, although their energy levels can be improved and their performance can be improved and their sleep levels and a lot of other biomarkers, but they're most worried about that belly fat that they don't really like. And I think it's actually a good thing that our body does that thing, showing us that there is a problem and we should address it or we might die sooner. The belly fat solution, some people say that it's not possible to lose fat in a specific area, but actually when it comes to belly fat, that again is a sign of fat around our internal organs, you actually can target that belly fat with an appropriate lifestyle solution. And today we're talking about that lifestyle solution that will help you to decrease and remove your belly fat. So let's talk first about the reasons why a lot of people these days have belly fat problem. Of course, poor diet. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, don't even ask for further clarification and for other solutions. Look at these problems. Start eating better. Improve the quality of your foods. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit more about the quality of specific foods today too. But then a huge issue these days is sleep. Some people still think that when they sleep 6 hours, some people even manage to sleep less hours, then they are okay, as long as they are not falling on the ground from exhaustion, or as long as over caffeinated people can perform. How will they perform? It's a huge question, and it's actually proven that you do not perform well when you are underslept even one night. If you sleep 6 hours, you're already going to perform as a worse version of yourself, dumber version, not so fast thinking version of yourself. So sleep, or we will talk about specific things that you can do to improve your sleep. But most importantly, guys, you cannot hack your sleep. As for right now, there is no way you can make your sleep more efficient and sleep 6 hours and less and expect that your health gonna work just fine. So sleep is a huge problem for a lot of people, just because people are still trying to somehow avoid it, even though sleep is really enjoyable. But also people are on social media or answering emails or doing so. There are so many things that we can get busy with that people tend to really compromise sleep. The only time when you can't really avoid compromising your sleep is when you're a parent and your kid is waking up in the middle of the night. So what do? Of course, if you have a nanny who can do that night work, that probably would be your best investment in your health and in your child care. That sleep period when you can't, when you need to sleep too, because you're a parent, and during the day you need to take care of your kid too and of yourself. So if you can do that, do that. But anyhow, sleep is a huge issue, and we are going to be talking about practices, how to actually sleep good, sleep well. What does it mean to have good night sleep? So sleep, quality of foods, stress management is a huge thing, of course. And when it comes to stress management, it's actually really simple, guys. Stress management is about doing just a couple of things. Thing number one, start meditating. Meditation will help you to live longer and happier. And there is more and more science, and there are more studies being done that prove that meditation in so many ways done consistently helps us to improve our health on all levels, and specifically our mental and emotional health. And there are many apps, like my favorite app, Waking Up app by Sam Harris, who help you, those apps, they help you to meditate consistently and better, and you don't have to think about anything. The voices there, the guide will guide you through the meditation process, so you don't have to think about anything or not think about anything. You just have to follow the guide in those meditation apps. And then the second thing about stress management, guys, is to focus on things that you can control and deal with them, and to not pay attention to things that you can't control. Do your best in each and every situation, and then let go of the things you can't control, and specifically let go of other people's opinions of yourself, of your life, or of your work. Only take into consideration opinions of people who you choose as your maybe mentors or coaches or leaders or guides, people who you respect, not some random person on your Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. So that's it about stress management. So let's dig deeper into food and sleep. So first and foremost, guys, especially for people on keto and low carb, high fat diet, if you already eliminated so many different foods that a lot of people are dying of, and you still have this belly fat problem. So again, address your stress, but then also look at the quality of those foods that you actually eat. Number one, quality of foods. Those animal products, fish or meat or poultry or eggs, are they of good quality? Do they come from animals that were pastured or wild? Were those animals treated with antibiotics or hormones? Also, when it comes to plants and eating your salads, your green vegetables, your colorful non-starchy vegetables, are they organic? You need to ask yourself those questions because those substances like pesticides or hormones or antibiotics, they're going to end up in your body and they're going to disrupt your hormonal system and increase inflammation. And that, guys, will result in more belly fat, in more visceral fat or fat around your internal organs. That's why you need to look at the quality of all of your foods. Besides that, what I mean by quality is also eliminating pro-inflammatory foods, and those are not just foods with a lot of carbohydrates or processed sugars and grains. Those are also foods like dairy, for example. I'm going to read you a statistic right now. Approximately 65% of the human population has a reduced ability to digest lactose, that is actually sugar that is found in milk, after infancy. Lactose intolerance in adulthood is most prevalent in people of East Asian descent, affecting more than 90% of adults in some of these countries. Well, first of all, guys, this is, by the way, statistics by NIH. Approximately 65% of the human population has a reduced capacity to digest lactose. 65%. There is a huge chance that you might have some of those genes, and you might be one of those people. And especially if you have some East Asian genes in you, and a lot of us do not really know all the genes that we might have in our genome. So that being said, also the casein and other proteins in milk, they are quite pro-inflammatory and quite difficult to digest for people. And if we take things like cow's dairy, that dairy is created by cow's body to grow a baby cow into an adult cow. And there is a lot of growth hormone, much more than you need, and a lot of other things that make it perfect for a baby cow, but not for a human being. And a lot of people have problems with not just lactose, because there's also lactose-free milk. People just in general have problems with dairy products, byproducts of dairy production, like for example whey, that is a byproduct of cheese making that is in a lot of protein shakes. And dairy is just one example. Personalized nutrition is a thing, guys, and you might be eating foods like, for example, nightshades like tomatoes or zucchinis that are also pro-inflammatory for you, and that can result in digestive issues and increased inflammation and autoimmune issues, and that can result in more belly fat. So you gotta look into that. But to a lot of you guys, I highly recommend to exclude dairy for a period of 3 weeks at least, and then reintroduce it into your diet, and then see how you do. Eliminating certain things for 3 weeks and then reintroducing that thing will really give you an idea of how well you actually do with that food. So quality of food. When it comes to quality of food, a lot of people on keto, on low carb, high fat diet, or on any healthier diet, people who are really doing their best trying to eat healthy, a lot of you folks might still be eating oils that are pro-inflammatory, fats that are pro-inflammatory. Well, first, I want to remind you that when you eat poor quality animal products, like cows or sheep or fish or poultry that were raised in a factory, their meat, their eggs, their products will have a lot of omega-6 fatty acids, and those omega-6 fatty acids, they're pro-inflammatory. We need some of them, but most of the people get too many of them. And so this is one of the fats, for example, that it can also easily contribute to your belly fat. But then also what I notice, a lot of people still don't track how many vegetable oils or poor quality oils they consume. And those oils, besides not eating them, sunflower, safflower, not cooking with highly unstable oils, even like sesame oil or flaxseed oil or walnut oil, if you're cooking with them, you're creating trans fats, and you oxidize fats, and they become pro-inflammatory too. But also, if you eat out, you get all this overcooked, oxidized, but also oils with a lot of omega-6s. A lot of places cook in canola oil, in sunflower oil, in all these oil that are not meant really for human consumption, and especially for cooking. And it's in almost every establishment where you eat your food. If they cook with oil, it's probably the oil that you don't want to have in your body. If you eat out a lot, that's going to be contributing to your belly fat. And also a lot of snacks, a lot of packaged foods, even high fat, low carb, high fat, even keto foods, they still would have those pro-inflammatory oils. So really look at the ingredients of what you're eating, and specifically pay attention to not eating those vegetable oils. And we're gonna make a specific episode on Food School with an expert on bad fats and bad oils versus good oils and good fats, to help you guys to finally make sense of all this oil conundrum. But at this point, just make sure that all the oils you consume, all the fats you consume, come from pastured wild animals. And the only oils that I really recommend you to use are extra virgin olive oil. My hack here, I never cook with extra virgin olive oil. I add it to my food after I cook it. So for example, if I cook my vegetables with my fish, so I cook it in a little bit of water, and then once I'm done cooking, I turn off the heat and I pour olive oil on it, some lemon juice, and I mix it all, and that's how I use olive oil without cooking on it. And so olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Another one is avocado oil that has a really high smoking point, so it's great for cooking. Also coconut oil is amazing. Pastured ghee. Ghee is basically a clarified butter when all the milk solids were removed. So for those of you who will be eliminating dairy, and I highly recommend you to do that at least as an experiment, use ghee instead of butter, especially in your bulletproof coffees, or maybe for some of the fattier snacks that you do. So use ghee instead of butter, but also grass-fed ghee, because the fatty acids profile will be much better in grass-fed ghee versus regular ghee. So that's when it comes to quality foods, guys. Again, make sure that all of your food is pastured, wild, organic, and you don't consume all these vegetable and other pro-inflammatory fats that were oxidized. That contributes a lot to belly fat, and especially again for people who are, if you guys are on keto diet like I am, or low carb, high fat diet, just make sure that you are consuming good quality fats and a variety of them. Omega-3 fatty acids are hugely also important, guys. If you're not consuming enough of those, that might be another issue why you're having problems with your health and your belly fat and your weight and also energy level. So omega-3 fatty acids coming from fish like sardines and herring and wild salmon. So look into that. And then the last but not least, we will be talking about sleep. So what is good sleep? What is good quality sleep? Where should you aim? How can you improve it? Like what improvement looks like, right? I've already mentioned that good quality sleep means you need to sleep 8 hours for 8 hours. And that means you need to actually schedule it. So for example, I'm a very early kind of person. I go to bed at 9 p.m. the latest. Sometimes I go earlier. Like if I can go at 8 p.m., I probably would. So 9 p.m. I go to bed. I wake up no earlier than 5 a.m. And if I'm training really hard, or for example, there is something going on in my life that is stressing me out a little bit more than usual, then I usually naturally sleep a little bit more, half an hour, maybe a whole hour. So 8 hours every night, and it got to be on the same schedule, guys. So you can't just sleep one day at 12 a.m., the next day at 9 p.m., the next day somewhere in between. Why is that? Because your body, like with anything else, gets used to your routine, and your body does its best to release certain hormones to prepare your body, your brain for sleep, to make you sleepy, to improve the quality of your sleep, to make you recover better. So your body actually does a lot of work to prepare you for sleep. So when you sleep on the same schedule, your body does a much better job doing that. Imagine if I told you to, I don't know, work one day from 12 p.m., the other day from 9 a.m., and then the next day from 3 p.m. So, your productivity will be all over the place. So the same happens to every system in your body. That's why sleeping on the same schedule is so important, especially on the weekends, guys. There is even this term, social jet lag, when you go to bed at completely different time on the weekends, and then it takes another 3 days for your body to get back to your normal schedule. It's like having a jet lag, literally. So you don't want to be changing your bedtime more than half an hour, maybe like an hour at most. Sleep on the same schedule. Believe me, guys, that's gonna really change the quality of your sleep. But then there is another thing. When I say on the same schedule, I don't mean you gotta go to bed as early as I do. In fact, for most people, it's gonna be a nightmare because our bodies, we have different chronotypes. That's the scientific term for basically saying we all do better going to bed and waking up at different times. So there is such a thing as a lark, or a person who's wired to go to bed and wake up early. And then there is such a thing as an owl, people who go to bed later and wake up later. And it actually can change also through years of our lives. So we can be an early person and then we can become a little bit later person. But usually we all have that predominant chronotype that we need to follow if we want to have the best quality of sleep, and if we want to have the best quality of life and performance and energy levels. So no, you don't have to wake up super early. You don't have to go to bed super early, but just make sure that you know your chronotype, and that you don't go to bed late and wake up late because you spend your time on social media, even though you do feel sleepy, and then you wake up late because you slept really late, and you sleep on that schedule not because it's your natural, how you naturally wired, but because that's your poor habits. So make sure to figure out what's your natural chronotype is. And there is actually a quiz that I'm gonna link in the show notes that is based on the recent science, and that will allow you to figure out what's your chronotype actually, and when is the best time for you to go to bed. But the duration of sleep, guys, it's the same for everyone. So time and schedule. The next one is screen time, guys. So 1 hour before bed, turn off all the screens. You need time to prepare yourself for bed. Your body needs time to prepare you for bed. And exposing yourself to screens, and especially to any sorts of bright lights overhead in your room, or blue light on your phone screen or on your computer screen, being outside, doing shopping, all of that an hour before bed, it will not allow your body to prepare you for sleep efficiently and effectively. So what you want to do is you want to dim lights everywhere 2 hours before bed, maybe 3 hours before bed, whenever it is getting dark wherever you are. So dim lights, have side lights instead of overhead lights, and try not to look at any screens an hour before bed, or at the absolute least, have blue light blockers on every and each of your screen. There are also glasses that you can use instead of using blue light blockers, and especially if you need to be outside or you need to be in a place that has bright lightning. So use those glasses, True Dark glasses, or there are all sorts of companies. There are many companies that create these glasses these days that block blue light. So that's important. Before bed, an hour before bed, you shouldn't be exposing yourself at least an hour before bed to bright lights. And then to improve the quality of your sleep, you need to expose yourself to bright light, to blue light, to morning light first thing in the morning, or as soon as possible. Get outside. That also, guys, is beneficial. It's proven by Navy SEALs for your mental health. Get outside for 15-20 minutes before 10 a.m. Every day, maybe on the way to work, maybe doing some early morning shopping, maybe taking your dog out for a walk. So 15-20 minutes before 10 a.m. Get outside. It doesn't have to be sunny, but you have to be outside, not by your window. So those things will improve your sleep too, and your ability to fall asleep fast. And then the last one, probably food. Food also starts some processes in your body. Plus, digestion takes time and energy, and it doesn't allow your body to really fall asleep deeply. Plus, it causes fluctuations in your blood sugar, so many other things. The takeaway from this is 2-3 hours before bed, finish your dinners, and then, have some herbal tea, or maybe moon milk that we'll be talking about later this week, and I'll teach you how to make one to sleep better. But you can also Google it or search for it on Instagram for some awesome pictures. Moon milk, that's an actual thing coming to us from India, being some sort of sleep aid. So belly fat solution, that's about it, guys. Sleep, 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 guys. Make your sleep your priority. Work on light, on your food time, but especially work on the duration of that sleep and figuring out what's your chronotype and when it's best for you to sleep and go to bed and wake up on the same schedule all the time, weekends including. That's a huge thing. So sleep, guys. We also talked about stress management briefly, about guided meditation, and about focusing on things that you can control and only on the things that are truly important to you, not all the noise. And then quality of foods. If I were to choose one thing when it comes to quality of food to focus on, I would really focus on eliminating all the poor quality fats and oils, especially from the sources that you might not be aware of, like eating out. Sometimes even places like Whole Foods, they would put extra virgin olive oil on the front label, and when you get the printout, it will say canola oil. That cooking in canola oil, it's not great news for you guys. It's highly pro-inflammatory when you cook on it specifically, but even when you don't cook on it, it's not a great idea. And then consuming omega-3s in the form of fish, not fish oil, like sardines, like herring, like wild salmon. And those are the things that contribute to your belly fat on keto diet, on low carb, high fat diet, because specifically you guys, we are consuming a lot of fats, and those fats need to be of good quality. Otherwise, it might create a disaster. So do it, please. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. I'll make sure you get all the answers so you can get the best health you can get. So vegetable oils, sleep, stress, quality of foods, not eating animals that we're treating with antibiotics, hormones, not eating non-organic vegetables. Those pesticides are also a nasty thing for your body. And that's it, guys. If you have a belly fat problem, make sure that you address all of this, no matter what diet you're on. And also, if you have any questions, reach out, check out the link to figure out your chronotype. And as usual, thank you guys for listening. And till next time, eat better daily.